Hello, welcome. I'm doing yet another video of Crash Courses in Destiny. And after I get this video uploaded, I'll probably throw all of them together into one convenient playlist, which will also make uploading them a little bit easier for me, because I can just put them all in one place, and they'll be easier to find. So, you might be wondering, what's the topic of today's video? Well, I'm probably gonna put it in the title, because, I'm recording this before I make the title. But, what I'm probably going to do, and by probably, I mean I'm definitely covering it right now, is how to synergize your build. We talked about mods a little bit last time, so let's take it a little bit further. Let's talk about subclass fragments. As you can see, I don't have, max stats and everything. But here's what I've been doing, thanks to the wonderful Disfay, my co-host on a lot of streams, for helping me tune this build a little bit. As you can see, I'm using Strand. These could probably be interchangeable if you want to, but I like Gambler's Dodge because the severing from the melee is like a 30% damage reduction. Well, it reduces enemies' damage by 30%. So, you hit anything with this, it drops their damage output while they're affected by severing. It's pretty good. Anytime you have your melee up, you have this. And I have the grapple. Because, I used the Shackle Grenade, which is overall better, but I feel like, after, playing around and messing around with it a little bit, these, the Shackle Grenades are so much better on Titan. Titan has it, constantly, and it's kind of ridiculous. And Threadling Grenades, also really good, better on Warlock. Because Warlock is just the Threadling machine. Hunters, given the exotic you get for just basically finishing the campaign, you get Woven Mail every time that you grapple. So, grapple, plus this right here, Widow's Silk, have an additional grenade charge. Your grapple creates a grapple tangle at the grapple point. You basically become a free grapple creator for the rest of your team, if anyone uses grapples. Pretty good. And Ensnaring Slam, you suspend things by holding, your class ability in the air. So, your dodge in the air. You create spinning, which stuns unstoppable champions. It's pretty good. Then the fragments, we have Thread of Mind. Defeating suspended targets grants class ability energy. Pretty good. While you have Woven Mail, final blows create a tangle. Also pretty good. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail. Very good. And dealing damage generates grenade energy. So you just basically synergize everything around having Woven Mail, all the time. So you could even probably swap the Tangle one here. You could easily, swap the Tangle one out for Thread of Wisdom. It's just, it's you can tweak around this. If I was more confident in my ability to get precision kills, things that are suspended, I would absolutely go with this. But my aim is E. Rebirth is also not terrible if you use strand weapons.
Looks like the Shadow Legion's taking back their toy, and they're taking
But
extra
yeah,
measures to keep it this time.
this one right here, Thread of Isolation might actually be pretty good for bosses. So if you want to swap that out for this, which I might actually do later, because I'm still messing around a little bit with this. Sever's good. Because when you kill an enemy that's severed, they unwind into a tangle. Which, basically the same as this. Having woven mail. It's just trade-offs. Severing I feel like is probably better though. But I'll play around with it more. This is a good solid build to start with. Because I just want you to see this like uptime and its synergies. Because I've thrown on some Strand Siphon mods from the season. And what that means is, with my Strand Auto Rifle, and or if you have Quicksilver Storm, fully well, it's Catalyst done, it turns it into a Strand Weapon. So, multiple kills with Strand Weapons, well, rapid kills with Strand Weapons create Orbs of Power. And you just use that to feed into a constant loop of having Woven Mail active. Now, you may be wondering, for those of you that are new, what does Woven Mail do? Well, when Woven Mail is active, you gain, at base, around 45 to 50% damage reduction. So things are going to be hitting you for a whole lot less. And you see that? You take like so little damage when Woven Mail is active. So you want to like feed into a certain playstyle. Like, for this, I just grenaded myself. Don't worry about it. I forgot I had a grenade launcher. Whoops. But yeah, I have ways to create orbs with Strand Weapons or Void Weapons. And my entire loadout is both Strand and Void. So you want to basically just feed into it. You reload?
The Quakemaker's changed hands again.
Ba -ba 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 -ba. And like, see, every time that I pick up an orb, it refreshes the timer there for Woven Mail. And I can refresh it this way too. And I'll take significantly less damage. Ba -ba 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 -ba, ba -ba 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 -ba. What am I doing? I actually need kills with this thing. And because of how I have my artifact set up, every time that I pick up an Orb of Power, I give myself volatile rounds. Which feeds back into itself. And you can just kind of sit here and keep doing the loop. Anything that like will feed back into you generating more power, which will keep, for my build, ow, keep Woven Mail up, because when you have Woven Mail up, you're gonna be significantly tankier. Like in this instance, you can basically just eat damage and not pair. And because I have better already on my boots, every time that I pick up more power, my health starts regenerating. So if I'm tankier and my health's starting to come back, enemies aren't going to be a problem for me, and I can stay alive longer in in-game content. It's like, it's all about what you want to do. This is just like an intro guide to builds, and I know I'm bouncing all over the place because, like, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I haven't even talked about the weapon that I'm using with this, which I probably should. I got a very nice roll on the seasonal auto rifle. Which I will talk about here momentarily. Let me move here. Because I'm gonna try to keep this video below the 20-minute mark. So, bear with me if I'm bouncing all over the place. I hope everything is easy enough to follow. If not, please let me know, and I will continue working on that. Because, like, this is a new thing for me. But I hope you're enjoying so far. I have a pretty decent roll. Not necessarily stability-wise, but range-wise. Got Keep Away, which I like. Increased reload range and accuracy when no combatants are in close proximity. Good new perk. And Hatchling. Precision final blows or rapidly defeating targets with non-precision weapons spawns a threadling at the target's location. Plus, you've got the seasonal origin trait of Noble Deeds. This weapon gains charges after assisting allies with revives, healing, overshields, or subclass buffs. Defeating targets consumes charges. While charged, this weapon gains bonus handling and reload speed, or charge rate for swords. This auto rifle has become one of my favorites already, just because of how it feels. It feels fantastic. And on locations that are not Neomuna, because Neomuna's base level is quite a bit higher than a lot of other locations. So, primary weapons don't tend to do a whole lot unless they're exotics here. So, if you're feeling like, oh, everything is taking more to die here, it's because they're higher level. Like, everything here on Neomuna is like 1810. All of the normal enemies on Neomuna are 1810. So, if you're struggling, don't worry about it. Most locations are 1600. You're gonna melt things with these builds. So if you can survive for a long time here with everything at 1810, there's not really any content in this game aside from in-game content that's gonna give you trouble. Which is why I have this Woven Mail build. Because in its current state, Woven Mail plus... I'll talk about this in just a second. Better beat up that Colossus. Woven Mail by itself is a pretty high damage reduction. When you add the mods on Chest Piece that reduce even more damage types and specific damage types, you can bring that like damage reduction up to an absurd like 80 to 90% damage reduction. So if you want to be a very tanky character, Woven Mail will actually do that for you. Of course, you have to finish the Lightfall campaign to unlock the access, really, to Woven Mail. But Woven Mail will allow you to tank a lot of damage. Like an actual absurd amount of damage. And you can take that damage reduction and do some absolutely absurd things with it. Like, as you can see, I'm just in the middle of all of those Vex. With an Overshield and Woven Mail and just kind of tanking everything. Because you can just do that. Like, did you see all that damage I just ate? Without Woven Mail, I probably would have been dead. Like, Woven Mail is just kind of absurd how good it is. Which makes me understand why Resilience was nerfed. Because, like, Resilience in and of itself is a fair damage reduction. 100 Resilience is a 30% damage reduction. So, when you pair it with Woven Mail, that's just base 70% damage reduction. Then you have things like Void Damage Resist and Sniper Damage Resist or Concussive Dampener, stuff like that. They will reduce the incoming damage even further. So if you're having a hard time surviving content, like, look for some of these mods. Do not be afraid to do this if you can. Just like, these will take your build even further and keep you alive longer. As with things like Better Already. Which I recommend Better Already over, let's see, where is it at? The other one. Recuperation. Because starting health regen is better than just getting a little bit of health. Because health regen is continuous health gain. This just gives you a little bit of health. And if there's, like, splash damage or anything going on, it'll just start chunking your health again and prevent you from regenning. So, you can double up on this and make it twice as strong. I have, like, different damage mods. I'm gonna put Stasis. Oh, not Stasis. Strand. Since I'm not using kinetics anymore. But, these right here, these Surge mods are 3% damage for the first one, 4.4% extra damage for the second, and 5 point something.
Hey Guardian, you in the mood to hand out an ass kicking? Because there's a Scion in your area.
I think. I could be wrong, but these are not going to give you like 10% bonus damage if you have 3 of them. So it's like, I usually just throw 1 because 3% extra damage is not bad. I've debated 2 because 4% extra damage might not be terrible either. But if damage is not your thing, or well, like regular enemy damage is not your thing, and you just kind of want to stay alive longer, you could triple up on Better Already. Because like, if there's plenty of orbs around and you can generate orbs consistently without any of these, then that'll keep you alive longer. You could also use it for Innervation or Invigoration or Insulation. Either of those, they'll bring your abilities back faster, which is better than necessarily having these, but Resilience is still alright. Recovery's good.
A few good
discipline's good, strength is good. Intellect right now is probably the worst stat. Because, like, you don't need intellect when there are the siphon mods and stuff like hands-on, like Dynamo, Ashes to Assets, hands-on. Yeah. Those 3 mods right there are better than investing into intellect, because they will give you your super significantly faster depending on what you go for. Like, if you use your class ability and your targets a lot, Dynamo. If you spam a lot of grenades to get kills, Ashes to Assets. If you use melees a lot, hands-on. Or, like, if you just want to make more orbs on your super, Power Preservation. Either way, you want to feed back into what your playstyle is as much as possible. And they give you the tools now to actually, like, synergize it better. They cut out a lot of fluff. So, like, you're not gonna have these crazy high min-max gains like there used to be with the more niche and specific mods. But now, the general, like, overall build crafting quality is so much better, and I hope it's a lot more digestible for newer players, because you can start out the game and go, once you hit Guardian rank 6, you basically have access to all of the mods you need to make a solid build. Once you go from 6 to 7, because there'll be a thing here in 6 that will unlock more mods, if I remember correctly. But basically, once you have the mods unlocked, you have the tools to take your build beyond. And I think that's really good. It's good for the health of the game, overall quality, and it's generally less confusing for newer players, which is what I wanted. However, I may be parroting what a lot of people say. Commendations are kind of... the way that they're implemented is not the best. I like the idea of the commendation system, but, yeah, throwing them into requirement for progress through Guardian ranks is probably not the way to do it. They kind of just get thrown around like candy whenever the screen tries to load. But we'll see what they do to tweak that, because if they remove it from the Guardian rank system, I will be happy. Because, like, I do like commendations, and I think they should be there, but progressing through the Guardian ranks I don't think should be an incentive to commend people. They can be just like, oh, this person knew what they were doing, or this person was fun to play with, or this person was thoughtful. You know, like, you should just want to do that if they were that, not because, throwing commendations around gets you to the next Guardian rank faster. Anyway, that's a topic for another video. Hope you enjoyed, and please leave your comments below. If there's anything you want me to take a look at, like, if you want to hear my opinions on certain exotics, you want to hear me, like, how my thought process works on different weapon types. What kind of weapons do I prefer? Like, what kind of play styles do I think benefit certain weapons, and so forth? Kind of armor pieces would I recommend looking for, so on and so forth. Because, like, let me go over here. I have most of the exotics. Like, I have most of the exotic weapons. I'm only missing, like, some of the raid ones and Final Warning. Some of the dungeon weapons. I'm missing some of the exotic glaives, but until recently they've been kind of... but they're better now because the glaives, just in general, got like a lot of love. I have most of the armor pieces. For like, actually all of them. I think like Titan might be the only class where I have the most like missing exotics, but I can at some point like farm and get those. But yeah, let me know what you thought below. I'll get this one uploaded shortly after recording and throw them into a playlist. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.